Joining me is Mark Walker, Head of Content at Eventbrite, to discuss the latest findings of the Pulse Report. Mark, welcome. And I think the first question I was going to ask is how the methodology of the Pulse Report has changed over the years.
Yeah, so this is the third year that we've released the Pulse Report, and we had a lot of learnings from the very first year. So the second year we changed some of the methodologies, particularly just the way we phrased questions and the kinds of responses that we were trying to capture. But actually this year we learned, because we'd learned so much between years 1 and 2, we tried not to change much this year because we found the second one worked so well. What we're actually aiming for was a lot of consistency, so we could do more year-on-year comparisons, and that's been really interesting in and of itself.
Fantastic. And so what about the results? I mean, were they surprising to you at all?
Yeah, of course. When you do a survey, you never quite know what you're going to get in terms of the results. So a few surprises. One was we actually asked the industry whether they were concerned about Brexit, and there was actually lower concern across the industry about Brexit than we were anticipating. So they were much more interested in and considering things like the impact of technology and the impact of cost cuts and efficiencies than they were about Brexit. So I thought that was quite interesting. A second one that we found that was interesting was, although the industry has been massively focused on efficiencies, and they were last year as well, budgets still rose. So year on year we found that budgets rose by 7%, and some of the big winners there were venues. People were investing more in their venues. Technology, that was the big winner, 25% increase year on year. And then also marketing budgets increased again this year. So I thought that was interesting. So while the industry is focused on efficiency, they're actually spending more year on year.
So these trends keep on changing. I mean, what patterns have you kind of noticed? A massive change in trends and tastes. Where do you see these trends coming from?
Yeah, so some of the things that we're seeing, and particularly, I guess, from our privileged position at Eventbrite, where we have an awful lot of data and users, so we kind of see these trends emerging with the way they use and interact our platform, are particularly around personalisation is a big one. So not the industry, but actually attendees and just the public at large are more and more keen on personalisation and having these personalised experiences, but also not getting kind of pushed to every experience, but they want to just see things that they are interested in and of themselves. So we launched an algorithmically driven newsletter at the start of this year, and we've seen an amazing kind of take up and a real interest in the fact that people are able to see exactly what they want to see based on their previous purchase history, rather than just getting a complete email blast.
Okay, so let's talk very quickly about the challenges. What could the events industry be doing better to maybe safeguard against, the uncertainty that surrounds us all at the moment? And what other risks are there that we see on the horizon that could rock the apple cart? Yeah,
so I mean, the Pulse Report itself showed the industry's pretty bullish. 65% of all respondents said they're expecting to grow their events this year. So actually one of the upsides of that is the industry seems pretty robust. One of the downsides from an individual organiser's perspective is that there's a lot more competition on the horizon. And I think that's where there's a lot of interesting things that organisers individually could do to make their events better and stand out a little bit more. So for example, organisers are still relying on the same promotional channels that they have been doing for several years now. First email, then social media, and then word of mouth. And actually, I think they could benefit from having a more diverse set of marketing channels, and also focusing a bit more on what we call conversion rate optimization, which is a bit of a scary sounding term, but it essentially means focusing on the traffic you already have and converting it more efficiently. So instead of doing more and spending more, you take what you've already got and make more of it, convert more of those into attendees. And that's definitely a big trend that I think organisers could make use of.
That's fantastic. And lastly, I'm going to ask, how have you enjoyed International Confex this year?
International Confex is always a highlight of the year. It's been absolutely great, full of buzz, lots of interesting new technologies to explore, and just generally, as I said, it's an industry that keeps looking forward and really seems to have a robust future ahead of it. So yeah, it's been great to be part of it.
So Mark Walker, thank you very much. And you can read more about the Pulse Report on our website.